Hi, my name's Paul Counsel, and I'm the founder of Turn Your Knowledge, Skills and Talent into Income. Today I'd like to talk to you just about a few ideas about, some of the concerns, the economic concerns that we're experiencing today, and also some ideas about how you might increase some of cash flows or income streams for yourself. Now, currently we're witnessing really a lot of news in the media about falling house prices. We're certainly seeing business profits starting to fall. And with the current crash on the US markets overnight and today's extreme fall on the stock markets, we're really seeing a lot of signs about things being under stress, and there doesn't seem to be any sight or any end in sight for these processes. And then when you add to them increases in interest rates, and then you add increase in fuel bills, we can see the gas prices going up, we can certainly see water prices going up, and our electricity prices are going up. And then when you add on to these things like school fees rising, we can see that food prices are rising, then the amount of stress that people are experiencing is starting to really drown out many of the things that people used to be able to enjoy. Now, if you're like most people, you might start getting this feeling as though your financial future that you were counting on maybe isn't as bright as it used to be, and maybe even it's kind of sort of fading and it's just kind of sort of a blimp on the sort of financial horizons right now. And so we're going to start thinking about turning those things around. So right now, we're actually in the middle of what they call a tsunami of changes. And those tsunami of changes are really creating a lot of uncertainty for people, and it's catching people off guard because, if you include a two-speed economy into this process, it really is creating a genuine sense of concern for people. And it's really concern about waking up into an economic future that they don't recognise, and certainly something that they actually haven't prepared for. And so I want to share just a couple of ideas about what could potentially lead on from here. And so here we are in 2011. And if you think about economies in general, really they can only move in three directions. So they can go up, they can go sideways, or, as is our experience currently, they're going down. And if you think about the directions that they head in, really there's only three outcomes that we can anticipate. We can anticipate a future based on financial abundance. We can also create a future or anticipate a future based on this relatively sort of break-even scenario. Well, the alternative is, which is one that I'm not encouraging people to think about, but in reality we do have to think about it, is that debt continues to dominate, prices continue to rise, and our experiences of that environment is somewhat less and less. So I guess one of the really important messages that I'd like to share is that your personal economy really depends on where the new economy is heading. It no longer depends on where the economy has been. And so we've got to get used to a new environment. And so the way that your personal economy shapes up really depends to the extent that whether or not you're willing to learn a new set of skills and a new set of strategies to really cope for each of these potential scenarios. Now, the third thing about a society that places so much emphasis or so much importance on money, that if you're not successful with money, what generally happens is that you tend to get left behind. And when you think about money issues, when money issues start to hold you back, then pretty much everything else starts to get held back. And it's like your whole life gets sort of put on this hold, and you don't know how to take that sort of life off hold. And so you can't actually do all the things that you'd love to do, and you can't enjoy all the processes and all the adventures and all the dreams that you've yet to achieve. And so when you think about quality time, well, that certainly flies out the door. Financial stress continues to increase, and you end up missing out. Your kids miss out, your relationships miss out, and there's no flexibility for holidays, for adventure, or for all of those spontaneous things that you'd like to be able to share and like to be able to achieve. You end up in sort of arguments, which kind of sort of leave you frustrated and confused. And if you're the breadwinner, then there's a very good chance you'll start to experience feelings of not being able to adequately supply for the needs of your family. You might sort of start to express feelings or experience feelings of sort of feeling as though you're letting down the people that you care the most. And that's really, it's really a terrible state to be in. So we've got to switch on some different ways of thinking about things. So it's really important that you realise that all of this change that we're experiencing really also brings along with it exciting opportunities. Now, it might be different or difficult to see those exciting opportunities at the moment, but when you start looking for them, when you start to understand what's going on, they are there. And so those exciting opportunities, they can help move people from what I term financial uncertainty to what I term financial independence. And so for the past 13 years, that's exactly what I've been helping people do. I've been helping people move forward so that they can achieve more security, so that they can achieve more economic freedom in their lives. And when you think about it, you've got a possibility of not only having economic freedom, but if you can attach personal freedom to that, then you've got the best of both worlds. Now, either personal freedom or economic freedom, or certainly both of them, they do require a different way of thinking about current situations and about the current results that we're achieving. So if you want to achieve more adventure, if you would like to have more choice, if you would like to work less and be more productive, if you want to feel more confident about navigating your way through the future, or even just experiencing what you're experiencing now, then now is the best chance that you'll ever have of getting what you want. And that's certainly to do with the opportunities that are currently with us. Now, clearly, we really can't change what happens with, within a world economy. And for that matter, we can't even affect or change what happens within the Australian economy. But what we can do is that we can really change what happens in our personal economy, because we've got full control, not only what we do, not only the decisions to make, not only the skills that we learn, but we've also got full control over the outcomes if we want to exercise that control. So to get more freedom and to experience less stress, to look after the things that are important to you, that are important about the people that matter to you, we've got to begin to think differently. We've got to think differently about our personal economy, because the ways that used to work are really becoming more risky and less effective. And what we're seeing is that play out on various world stages at the moment. And so we've got to start to think about things differently so we can start switching things around. I guess what's even more important to realise that the rate of change that we're experiencing isn't actually going to slow down. In fact, it's going to increase over time. And we've got to be cognizant of that. And we've got to be cognizant of it. Well, if the rate of change is expanding, and I'm already starting to feel the pinch and I'm already starting to feel the discomfort, then how do I actually secure my future within those changing conditions? And so I guess the important point is to secure a different future, then a different way of thinking about that future has to switch on. Now, whether or not you succeed financially within this new future doesn't actually depend on your ability to continually work and stay at the grindstone. It doesn't depend on your ability to spend more hours working or more hours doing the same things over and over again. It starts to depend on your ability to think differently, your ability to concentrate on things that will give you greater financial leverage, things that will give you greater financial productivity. Now, there is a danger, and I guess the biggest danger ahead is really not being able to keep pace with the rate of change, not being able to keep pace with the increases in prices, and not being able to keep pace with how those increases in prices affect not only the amount of income that you get, but the way that you receive that income. So if you're up for learning something new, if you're up for the possibilities of developing new ways of thinking, if you're up for the possibilities of developing new skill sets, then there really are ways to overcome all of the challenges that we're experiencing at present. And when you think about that, there's even right now ways to sort of rocket yourself past falling profits and past rising prices. And you can develop income streams that, maybe a few months ago, maybe a few years ago, that give you a greater sense of security, that give you a greater sense of certainty, that give you a greater sense of financial independence. Now, by learning how to share your knowledge, by learning how to share your skills, by learning how to share all of those hidden talents that you got, by learning how to share information and your expertise with millions of other people, then a whole new world of financial possibilities and financial opportunities suddenly starts to open for you. Now, unlike real estate, unlike the share market, unlike traditional businesses that are kind of sort of feeling the pinch of change, and when those sorts of things happen, they've got a lot of downside risk as well as a lot of potential upside, but they're starting to become really risky simply because of the amount of downside risk that they have. So the upside potential of sharing your knowledge, the upside potential of sharing your skills, information, talent, all those things that people are now searching for, the upside potential is literally huge. It's unprecedented. But the other thing about it is that the downside risk is absolutely limited. And really, when you think about it, compared to what we're experiencing now, the downside risks are actually quite minimal. So there's unprecedented new opportunities are now opening up in this rapidly emerging new knowledge economy. And all you need is a sense of inspiration, a sense of commitment, a sense of inquiry, a sense of determination, a sense of investigation, a sense of exploration, and the ability to stick with something, a learning pattern or learning a new skill long enough for you to master it. And it's those criteria, those qualities that if you bring to new experiences of learning will see you absolutely do well in the financial future. And it really doesn't matter whether you're in a traditional business. It doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur now, or whether you have experience, or whether you have no experience, or whether you just want to, increase your cash flow just slightly so that you can achieve things. So when you start tapping into this new knowledge economy, what you're really tapping into is the potential to experience more time, the potential to experience more space, more confidence, more money, more independence, more freedom, more certainty, more security for yourself. And like so many other people who are now tapping into those experiences, you've got so much hidden value that's just waiting there to be released or to be unlocked. Now the problem is that you may not know how to unlock all of this hidden value. You may not know or have an effective system in place that starts to convert that value into income. You may not have a system in place that starts to convert your hidden talent into increased cash flow for yourself. Now that's because enculturation teaches us not only to underestimate the extent of what we've learned over the years, it also teaches us to undervalue that sense of worth of what we have. And we always think that somebody else knows something better than we do, and what we hold within our knowledge and within our experiences isn't actually worth that much. But I really want to encourage you to start thinking differently about that, because it's actually not true. You have a tremendous sense of worth to create, and a tremendous sense of a tremendous amount of information and knowledge and experiences to actually share with people. So if you've got a desire to escape uncertainty, if you've got a desire to sort of escape that sort of mounting financial pressure and to escape the shackles of what I call lifelong job-ready servitude, then you've got to change the way that you think about the value that you have to offer and the knowledge and experiences that you already have inside you that you could be sharing with other people. So if you've ever wanted to write a book, if you've ever wanted to write an ebook, if you've ever wanted to create a great presentation, or maybe you want to create some inspiring videos or design powerful audio programs or write inspiring stories that you can share with people. If you've ever wanted to share your ideas, maybe you wanted to learn how to conduct webinars or inspire people with online workshops, or maybe you just want to sort of share your favorite recipes or teach somebody or share a how-to or a strategy, or maybe even start an online business, then now is the best chance that you'll ever have of actually pursuing that pathway. Because technology is no longer a barrier. All the technology, and it's really getting so much easier to use. And you can learn to do what other successful people are now doing. And all of the support that you need to start a new enterprise, to start thinking about things differently, to actually start putting them into place and realising some extra income, all of that support is available for you, and it's available right here in Perth. Now, you might have been, already sort of searching for ways to achieve these things, but you might not have actually found something that works. You might not have actually found a plan that you can follow, or maybe even a proven track record. But all of those things are now available to you. And so if you're still committed to learning new skills, if you're still committed to exploring, if you're still committed to designing and creating a better future for yourself, then I'll teach you what all of the other successful people are doing world over now. So if you think about this new economy, sharing knowledge, sharing skills and sharing talent online has become so successful over the years that it's now emerging as the new medium for personal independence. It's also emerging as the new medium for economic freedom for so many people who are tapping into the growth that's available to them. So the shortest way of getting what you want really today is when somebody starts searching online for something that you already know. Because the internet now gives you access to millions and millions of people who are searching for information. And so you can start to leverage that information. You can start to leverage your passions. You can start to leverage all of those desires that you're never fulfilled, but you can start sharing all of this knowledge and creativity that you have with other people. You can share your ideas, you can share your hidden talent, you can convert those talents into valuable income streams, even income streams that you previously never thought were possible for you. Now, while people are doing that, they're sharing their knowledge with millions of others. They're literally becoming the next millionaires. And some of the results that people are getting, a year ago would have been beyond their wildest imagination. So Turn Your Knowledge, Turn Your Skills and Turn Your Talent into Income is a program that shows you how to create similar rewards for yourself. And when you create those rewards for yourself and for those that are closest to you, a whole bunch of different opportunities and a whole new future starts to open up. So you can start thinking about all of the things that you'll be able to do when that new future opens up for you. Start thinking about all of the adventures that you could have. And if you think about the time that you'll have available to share with yourself, to share with family, to share with people who are really important to you, think about how proud you would be when you make significant contributions to those people who are less fortunate than somebody like yourself or for some other people. Think about how proud you'll feel when you give yourself and you're able to give your family all of those things, or all of the finer quality, those finer aspects of life that currently you might be struggling with at the moment. An interesting thought that Viktor Frankl reminds us of, and he says, look, a human being is a deciding being. So when we're no longer able to change a situation, what we become challenged with is to be able to change ourselves. So ultimately your personal economy comes down to one decision. And that's a decision to either continue with your current results, or if you're like me, you want to change the thinking so that you can authentically go after the lifestyle and the results that you really want. And if you think about Walt Disney, Walt Disney was such an inspirational person. And he created Disneyland because what he could dream of was a better Tomorrowland. And so now you're in the same situation. You can actually start your future by dreaming of a better Tomorrowland for you. So I'll show you the plan, I'll show you the step-by-step process, and I'll actually give you all of the support that you need. So if you think about it, it doesn't really matter what happens within a changing economy. What really matters is how we perceive that economy and the decisions that we take as a result of those perceptions. So what I want to encourage you to think about is you currently hold all the options to your Tomorrowland, and the keys are firmly in your hand, and we've just got to take a step in the right direction. So if you want more information about how you can gain access to a brighter economic future, then come along and visit me at the Inspiration Factory, because they're putting on a program that starts to share with people how they can take advantage of the changes that are taking place. So if you'd like more details on any of the information that you received or any of the information that's coming from the Inspiration Factory, then down here on this page there's just a Register My Interest button, so just click on that and that'll take you through to all the details you need to find. Until then, my name's Counsel, and I'll see ya.